Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining my first Finance Focus Live on Digicel Money Talk. My name is Luana Laura. I am the founder of Finance Focus Consultancy, through which I share financial tips on social media. I want to thank Digicel for allowing me to have this live on their platform. And you can also find this video on my Facebook page, Finance Focus. If you are just finding out about Finance Focus, head over to the Facebook page and click follow. I am also on Instagram at Focus Finance 767, and ensure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Finance Focus Consultancy, where I host my bi-weekly financial videos on Financial Fridays. So the topic for this live is managing financial health during challenging times. And I chose to share this because I've been hearing a lot of chatter surrounding the anxiety of COVID-19 as it relates to job loss, work benefits, overspending, and closure of businesses. So today, I'm here to share some tips to help you plan the way forward so that it can ease your mind and guide your financial decisions during these challenging times. We will discuss areas like getting through financial emergencies, protecting your finances, and of course, for the small business owners, business continuity. Hi, thank you for joining. Welcome. Financial emergencies can happen to anyone, and there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the economic downturn that our economies will face as a result of the COVID-19 virus. Some people won't feel the effects as much, while some will be greatly impacted. So let's start by speaking to those who've already been impacted from disruptions of COVID-19. The reality that many may have started to face is job loss, and they can't pay their bills, they can't pay their rent and loans. No one knows for sure how long this virus is going to be around for, and the people who are already living from paycheck to paycheck, they are the ones that are going to feel the hardest pinch. So, if you've been displaced, what should you do? What is important here is that you communicate to your landlords and your lenders that you are facing financial difficulty. One of the big mistakes I see people making is avoiding that financial discussion. You don't want to assume that your landlord or lenders know what's going on with you. And right now, many lenders and landlords are willing to accommodate. They are waiving late fees, they are deferring payments, and they're allowing people to get on payment plans. But if you don't communicate, they don't know. There may be some landlords who may not be so accommodating. You still want to have that discussion with them and ensure that you understand the terms of your rental contract, specific to as it relates to eviction, and become familiar with the Tenancies and Rent Control Act right here in Dominica, which is extremely favorable to tenants. Thanks for joining. Welcome. Now, another area of concern is which bill payments should be prioritized. I know that's something that a lot of people are wondering right now. Those who have faced job loss, they want to know which bills that they should pay first. If you are facing financial emergency right now, you will want to focus on your core essentials. That is your food, safe housing, your utilities, and any medications that you need, as well as the transportation to go get that food and the essentials. Those are the core things that you want to focus on right now. With food, you may want to switch from brand names to generic, because steak is also a food, but is it essential? And that is something you have to be able to be comfortable doing. You need to determine what you can do without to ease your situation right now. So we've spoken about your bill priorities, and your landlords and your lenders. So as it relates to insurance, I know insurance right now is very important. You will want to keep your health insurance up to date. The worst thing is to have a medical emergency and a financial emergency. That's dreadful. And ensure that you understand the terms of your policy and whether you're covered for COVID-19 related claims. Sagicor has publicly stated that they will honor all claims relating to the virus, whether it's medical or life, and that is just awesome. So you want to keep those policies up to date. And if you can't, what do? Communicate, right? Now, a lot of people are wondering what work benefits are available. For those who've been laid off, what options do you have? If you're a Social Security contributor and you are up to date with your payments, you are entitled to sickness benefits relating to COVID-19, whether you've been quarantined or you've contracted the illness. So that's important to know. Now, for those who've just been laid off, right now there is no specific unemployment benefit available from the Dominican Social Security. However, currently the Dominican Social Security is looking at ways to provide limited support to their contributors who are displaced due to COVID-19. It is currently not provided by law. It will be an income replacement support. It is not a benefit. It is not an entitlement that you can go ahead claiming. So that is not something that is statutory. They are just trying to see how they can ease the burdens of their contributors. But in order to qualify for that support, you must be a contributing member to the fund before the onset of the virus. And that highlights the importance of making Social Security contributions, whether you're an employee or you're self-employed. More specifically, if you're self-employed and you have no other options like retirement plans. So look out for news from the Dominican Social Security on how you can benefit from this support that they're planning. Now, we spoke about the essentials. So what about the non-essentials? If you're facing financial emergency, you should eliminate as many non-essentials as you can for now. Since most retail shops are closed and their restaurants are closed, their gyms are closed, their salons are closed, shopping less might be easy. So it is based on your discipline to know what you can do and do without. Right now, I've been getting questions on how to make money or increase your income. In relation to getting another stream of income, you need to ask yourself, what skills can you monetize? What jobs can you do? What opportunities do you have? You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. And it is also important to diversify your skills, whether you're employed or not. You never know what can happen. One option you may have right now is working online. You can send me a message so I can share some some options with you, and I can refer you to some of my networks that can help you plan the way forward if you're interested in working online. If you're unemployed and you're worried about your bills, one thing you can proactively do right now if you don't have the income coming in is to start to create a plan on how you will catch up when things get back under control or you start receiving income again. Now is not the time to be nonchalant about this. You need to get serious. So plan ahead. If you're just joining us so far, I've talked about getting through a financial emergency for those who've already been impacted by COVID-19. We've spoken about the importance of communicating to your landlords, your lenders, your insurances, and your utility providers. We've spoken about prioritizing your bill payments, the available work benefits, the options of monetizing your skill to earn new income, and also planning for the future. But there's one thing that we did not mention. It's listening to your local news from the officials to find out what options are available for relief. We haven't heard anything as yet in Dominica, but we can anticipate that we will hear something soon. Now, as it relates to those who are not displaced, it is important to protect whatever finances that you have right now. We don't know when things are going to get back to normal. So how should you stay proactive during this time? It's all about focusing on what you can control. COVID-19 is not your fault, but there are certain things you can do to protect your future. And that goes equally for those who've been displaced. Focus on what you can control. We are all worried about our future, whether we've been displaced or not. We need to focus on what we can control. Now, if you're still employed, you can start by putting a little money aside, especially from saving of traveling less and eating out less. I know I've saved loads by having to eat from home. So it is important to budget by outlining your total expenses and taking control of your future spending. You all know I am an advocate for budgeting. I have said it numerous times during my videos. It is important to budget. And you can request my worksheet, my budget worksheet, that will make it so much easier. I've gotten many reviews from people who've already put it to use and it's working for them. I will place the links in the comments after so that you can request it. So another thing you can do if you're not displaced is don't ignore COVID-19 notifications from your financial providers. All institutions right now, they're sending out announcements about operational changes. There are updates about business hours and what services that they're offering. Most of them are encouraging online and mobile services use. They are also informing of relief packages available to borrowers. As it relates to relief packages, the most common package that's being offered right now is the moratorium on loans, which is a deferral of your monthly payments. But be cautious when accepting these offers. Yes, I know we all want to have that extra chunk of change in our hands right now, but if you are willing and able to pay your loan, I will recommend to you that you continue with your regular payments. For those with no options right now, I'd recommend that you speak to your bank and take it. But be mindful that with a moratorium, while there is a hold on the installment payments, interest still accrues. And upon reinstatement All that interest is added up to your principal from which your future interest is calculated. Now, it might be a minimal change or it might not. And in some cases, it can slightly extend the life of your loan. So be mindful and ask for a complete analysis and explanation of your options. For those with no choice, it will free up some cash flow for you, but you need to understand the terms and conditions of what you are choosing to do. Now, for those with tax adjustments, yes, the moratorium affects these too. I bet you didn't know that. The tax adjustment is done against your projected interest. Be mindful that if you choose the moratorium, you should request a recalculation and inform the Inland Revenue Division of the new amount to avoid tax liabilities at the end of the year. Post Hurricane Maria, a lot of people were unaware of these implications and they ran ahead and they deferred their loan for 6 months and ended up owing large sums of income tax because they had previously adjusted their monthly tax in January or throughout the year. So just be mindful on all the terms and conditions of everything that you're doing right now. Make sure that they explain it clearly to you. You'll understand what you're doing. Read everything before you sign. Ask them what are the implications to you choosing certain options, and you ensure that you make the best decision for you and your financial position. In relation to spending, the next thing you would want to do if you're not displaced is you'd want to reduce your expenses to increase savings and focus on paying off the debt that you already have. Now, we are speaking about protecting your finances. Credit cards is the most expensive form of debt. Avoid putting extra charges on your credit card if possible, and if it is really necessary, remind yourself of your credit limit. Now, I'm sure we've noticed the long lines outside supermarkets. Avoid panic purchasing. If you are shopping, make sure to be practical. Don't go finishing all your money. I know we were told to stock up, and that's important, but we need to be practical with our purchases. And while we're shopping, we need to take proper measures to protect ourselves while shopping. Follow the social distance measures that are in place to protect yourself and your families. For those with children that are concerned that they are running you broke on food because school is out right now and the children are home and they're eating and you must feed them, it would help if you plan their meals similar to school time. And you can give them a little leeway, but not so much. Remember to keep them healthy because this will also help you save costs. Now, when we think of savings, if you have an emergency account, this may be the time to use it. I can't tell you how many times mine has allowed me to dodge some dreadful situations. I am an advocate for the emergency fund. Now, this time is a genuine emergency for many people. But remember, it is also a temporary situation. Be strong and know that you are capable of cutting back on spending for a time. So eventually, you will have to start putting it all back. Prioritize emergency savings as you work through your plan, because even though you're not displaced, you should also have a plan. And that same thing goes for those who've been displaced. You need to include an emergency savings component in that plan. For the people who are struggling to manage their finances right now, there are a ton of resources like ebooks and YouTube that you can go on. Many financial planners right now, they're offering free resources on their website. I can also recommend some to you, and I post regularly on my Facebook page to give tips on ways you can increase your financial literacy. So just to recap some of the points, that for those who want to take a proactive step with their finances, create a plan for spending, saving, and paying your debt. If you're taking the moratoriums, be aware of the terms and conditions. If you've adjusted your taxes, remember to send IRD an updated interest amount so that they could readjust your tax for the remainder of the year. And if you're struggling to get your finances under control, use the internet to gather resources. You can also send me a message to see where I can help. So far, we've spoken about getting through financial emergencies. We've spoken about protecting your finances. So a lot of people are wondering, what about business owners? Now, I am a big supporter of small and medium-sized businesses, and I always advocate for entrepreneurship. Last month, I featured small business management on Financial Fridays, and you can find those videos on my YouTube channel. I know that some of the most severely impacted institutions right now during this pandemic are the small business owners. Listen, if you are unable to adapt to this new environment, your business will not survive. All right? So you need to be able to adapt to these circumstances right now. The first thing you need to prepare right now, if you have not already, is to prepare a business continuity plan. Do you have one? How many of you have a business continuity plan? And what is that? What is a business continuity plan? It is a proactive plan which outlines how your business is going to recover from an event. Research has shown, right, that 60% of small businesses do not have a business continuity plan. So, are you among that 60%? Y'all better get cracking. You better get serious. If you're a small business owner and you want to survive, if you want your business to remain viable for the rest of the year, you need to figure out, what are you going to do? In a study conducted by Creed recently, it revealed that the heavily affected sectors right now are, of course, the service sector, followed by the retail sector, and that survey group anticipated that they will be severely impacted by disruptions from COVID-19. So, how can you ensure that your business remains viable during this time? What should you do? Well, it's important to ensure that you know your risk profile to determine whether your business is at a high or low risk from the impacts of COVID-19. You would do the analysis based on people, and that extends to the lives of your workers and their families, your processes, which essentially guides your enterprise operations, your profits, which is your revenue generation aspect, and of course, your partnerships. And that is the enabling environment that helps you to carry out your operations that are available. Now, the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, DAIC, can provide you with a self-assessment form for you to determine your risk profile. And it's important that you do so. It will give you some insight into what are the needs of your business and how you can face it going forward. And all these are actually part of the business continuity plan, so you can appreciate the importance of that. Of even greater importance, I believe right now there are 3 things that small businesses should do. The first thing you will want to do is assess where you are right now and review your business model. Are you in the service sector? Are you in the retail sector? Are you in the manufacturing sector? If you're in the service sector, it can be easy to find innovative ways to adjust your model to facilitate income generation. If you are in the food services, for example, can you convert to a virtual set? Can people order through WhatsApp and you deliver it? And of course, ensuring that you're practicing social distancing measures. If you are in retail, it will require you at one point to meet your clients. Again, practice social distancing measures. If you are in the manufacturing sector, sourcing your materials will be your biggest challenge. If you are still able to produce, you can also convert to a virtual set by advertising through social media and WhatsApp and being able to deliver it to people while practicing social distancing. The second thing you will want to do is provide digital communication with your customer base. Remain engaged with your customers via social media and online content, because right now they can't come to your offices. There's so much that you can do to remain in contact with them, and social media marketing and advertising is the way to go. Anyone will see what your business is about once you use social media. But the challenge you will face is monetizing those engagements. These strategies will help you to provide service that deliver and demonstrate value and create meaningful relationships with your customers for when things get back to normal. So if you want to learn strategies in which you can do so, you can also send me a message and we can work on some stuff. And thirdly, small businesses need to go to their lenders personally to determine what is the right way forward and the best available options. Right now, banks are willing to help. Lenders are willing to help. But they will want to see your business continuity plans and some form of financial reports to ensure that they provide a suitable plan and a way forward. It will also help them to be less stringent on the help that they provide to you. If you need help to complete those financial reports, send me a message. I can help with that. So, a recap. Create a business continuity plan. Review your business model. Keep your customers engaged and speak to your lenders. So now I'm going to take a few questions from the live. I've seen a lot coming in. Somebody asked to revise the insurance aspect again. I mentioned that it's important to keep your health insurance up to date right now and ensure that your policy covers COVID-19 related claims. Sagicor and a few other insurance providers have stated that they will be publicly honoring all claims as it relates to COVID-19. There are some policies that have exclusions for pandemics, so you need to ensure that your policy covers you for pandemics. Next questions. Some small business owners do not know how to plan. Explain. That is true. that is one of our weaknesses here in Dominica as it relates to small businesses. A lot of us have ideas and we think that it's as easy as getting it off the ground. But it's a process. And there are a lot of resources available right here in Dominica. We have the Dominica Youth Business Trust. We have the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce. We have small business grants. They can provide so much information on getting your business off the ground. It is important that you have a business plan. Now, in that business plan, it is important that you set out the objectives of that plan. I have another question coming in. What about people in the entertainment sector? That is true. They won't be able to adapt as easily. That is why it is important to diversify your skill. Even if you're an entertainer, you should have some other skill. Given the risk of the entertainment industry, whether you have gigs or not. When there's a down season, what are your plans? That is something that you were supposed to have in place in the event of something like this. Another question. Does the DIC have this form available online and can it be submitted online? Now, the form is for your purposes. You can request it from them. I'm not sure if it's available online, but you can request it from them. And if you need help interpreting it, you can send me a message. What are some business ventures you look forward to seeing emerging in the coming weeks to support the movement? What movement? I'm not sure. What movement are you speaking of? If you can clarify, I'd appreciate that. So, are there any more questions? I can try to answer this question. I'm not too sure what the movement is, but some businesses that may emerge right now are an evolution of businesses. A lot of businesses are not employing. They're trying to figure out a way forward with the current staff that they have. But some other things that I've noticed happening right now are a lot of our retail businesses are moving to e-commerce. And places like we have a patisserie, they're now doing virtual business. Some of the manufacturers that are still able to produce, they're moving their products online where you can order and they deliver to you. A lot of our other retail businesses are doing delivery. So right now, a lot of businesses are evolving. And that is important because, like I said, if you cannot adapt to this environment, your business will not survive. This is our new normal. This right now is our new normal. So remember, it's all about focusing on what you can control to reduce the anxiety and redirect your energy based on what you can control. There's no need to stress out yourself. You will not be able to process anything if your mental health is not in check. There is a lot of flexibility going around, and it comes back to what you can control. There is a lot of frightening news out there, and keep in mind that none of this is your fault. It is okay for you to disconnect. Take a few hours a day, cut off the news, read a good book, focus on your plan, focus on your personal development, and just keep your mental health in check. Let's see if there are any more questions. What are your views on stimulus package, and would you advise the government to including one? Well, I cannot speak to that. It is always beneficial if there is a stimulus package available for the economy and the citizens. So I'm just looking forward to hearing what there is on the table for us here in Dominica, and I'm sure that it will be beneficial to most people in the interest of all the citizens. If there's any more questions, I'm sticking around to see if there's any more questions. And just to recap, we've discussed getting through financial emergencies. Remember, communication is important. Don't assume that your lenders, your creditors, they know what is going on with you. Prioritize your bill payments. Ensure that you have sufficient food, you have safe housing, you have the medications that you need, right? If you're able to monetize some other skill that you have, now would be the right time to do so. If you're not displaced, now is the time to sit back, review your finances, and see where you can improve. If you're a small business owner, prepare your business continuity plan. And include in that business continuity plan a way forward. Consider e-commerce. E-commerce is the way to go. And in the event that we leave these dreadful times, your business is going to come out stronger if you begin to plan the way forward now. You're able to see the weaknesses in your business, so now is the best time to see how you are able to adapt for uncertainty. So thank you all for joining me here today. Thank you for your questions. You can also reach out to me if you have any other questions. Thanks to Digicel for bringing this live. And don't forget to follow the Facebook page and Instagram. Check out Financial Fridays on YouTube channel and subscribe. See you next time.